Hi Pisces, welcome to your love reading for June 2019. This is Elizabeth from channelguidance.com. I've already shuffled the decks for you, and we are going to do one additional spread this month. We're going to do the general love reading, the X spread, but I'm also doing a spread for those of you who are completely single and you just want to know if you're going to be meeting anybody new in the month of June. So let's go ahead and begin. You did have two jumping cards from the first two decks. Let me show you what these are. This card right here jumped in a really dramatic way, so for some of you this is highly significant. You have the King of Pentacles, which would be an earth sign. Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. This can be your ex, or it can be your partner, or somebody new coming into your life. This again was very dramatic. The other one is another court card. The Queen of Wands, a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. Again, this can be your partner, it can be your ex, or it can be somebody new coming into your life. Okay, let's go ahead and start with this first deck right here. Let's put the Queen of Wands in the middle. See if she comes up again. This is a love reading for the sign of Pisces for June 2019. The first card you have, Pisces, is Temperance. Love reading for the sign of Pisces for June. Page of Swords. Love reading for the sign of Pisces for June. Nine of Pentacles. Love reading for the sign of Pisces for June. Page of Pentacles. Love reading for the sign of Pisces for June. Ten of Swords. Love reading for the sign of Pisces for June. The World. Love reading for the sign of Pisces for June. Knight of Cups. Love reading for the sign of Pisces for June. This is the Wheel of Fortune. Love reading for the sign of Pisces for June. And the Emperor. What's the most important thing that Pisces needs to hear about their love life for June 2019? The message that you have, Pisces, is the Two of Wands. So there is some waiting involved for you, depending on what's going on in your love life right now. It could be that you're having to wait for somebody to come around. If you're dealing with an ex, it could be maybe you need to wait for things to come back together as far as a relationship or a marriage, or maybe you're waiting for somebody new to come into your life. This usually represents delays and waiting. So we'll come back to this card to see how it ties in with the rest of the reading. If you would like to get a private reading with me, just go to my website, channelguidance.com. I'll put a link down below and also a link to my Facebook, and you should be watching this on YouTube channel, Channeled Guidance Tarot. Okay, so let's see what you have here. Temperance, the Page of Swords, Nine of Pentacles. So, the first card, the main energy here is the Two of Wands, delays and waiting. And the very first card is telling you, be patient. So for some of you, you just have to be patient with your situation. Temperance also represents healing. So for some of you, it could be that you're trying to heal a relationship where something is not quite right. And again, there's this message of wait, be patient. You also have the Page of Swords, which means somebody really needs to speak their truth. It could be maybe you have to be completely honest with your partner, especially again, if something is not quite right in the relationship or in the marriage. It could be that maybe somebody has to be completely honest with you. The Page of Swords is just open and honest communication. Now for some of you, you have Temperance here. This does represent patience and healing, compassion, but for some of you it can also represent the sign of Sagittarius. But for others, it's just kind of healing and being patient. There's a need to communicate as far as what you're feeling about your current relationship. You also have the Nine of Pentacles. So this is telling you that you have to do what's best for you, because this is a card of integrity, self-love, self-worth. So for some of you, there's something here that needs to be healed. There's a relationship where there's a need to bring this relationship or this marriage back into balance. You're having to be really compassionate and really patient with somebody. And maybe it is time for you, Pisces, to speak your truth with the Page of Swords. There's no need to suffer in silence. With the Page of Swords, you have to be completely open and honest. And again, the Nine of Pentacles is saying you have to do this for yourself. Whatever decisions you're making in the month of June, you have to do whatever makes you feel good at the end of the day. The Nine of Pentacles is about making decisions that you can live with. Now, in the second row, you have the Page of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords, and the World. So there is this energy here of endings. The Ten of Swords is this energy of not being able to move on. And the World is a card of endings. Maybe you need to reflect on why you can't move on from maybe your ex. We'll see what the X spread says about this. But for others, it could be that maybe you and your partner aren't able to move on from something painful that happened. Usually with this card, there's been something, maybe there's been a betrayal, there's been lies, but it usually just means that somebody has been very hurt. and you don't realize that it's just time to let it go and it's time to move on. The world is promising you a whole new chapter as far as your relationship. This is a very positive card of victory. You successfully completed one stage in your relationship and it's time to move on to the next. But what is it that you're not seeing? Because the Page of Pentacles only comes up when you need to look at something very carefully. You're missing part of the puzzle. You're not seeing the whole truth. And again, since it's a general reading, it's hard to say. For some of you, it could be that maybe you're thinking of ending a relationship. And you know, maybe you're unable to do that. Maybe you're unable to let go. There's a new chapter in your love life that's just waiting to start if you're able to move on. For others, it could be that maybe somebody left you, but you're unable to move on from that relationship. Maybe this is an ex where you can't let them go. Again, you want to look at this very carefully with the Page of Pentacles here. Maybe there's something that you're not looking at, something that you're not considering. Maybe you need to speak your truth to your ex about something. And again, with Temperance being the first card, this is maybe about healing. Maybe they need to be patient with someone who hurt you, because the main energy is the Two of Wands. There's, a delay in waiting. Maybe as far as a new cycle with this person, because the world does represent an ending, but also a new beginning. Now down here, I do see positive movement in your love life, because the Knight of Cups is always a positive change in your love life. For those who are single, this can even be a new person coming in, a new opportunity, somebody sweeping you off your feet. But for those who are coupled, this just means positive changes. Your relationship continues to grow. You also have the Wheel of Fortune. It could be that maybe you're at the bottom of the wheel now, but you will be at the top. The Wheel of Fortune always means change for the better. It could also be that for those who are struggling, the month of June is a very lucky time for you. The Wheel of Fortune represents lucky energy, a lucky streak. So it could be that, your relationship can move forward, and I see that happening here. But you also have the Emperor. And the Emperor does mean that somebody has to take charge of maybe what's working against your relationship right now, or your marriage. The Emperor means you have to take your power back. Somebody has to be in control. Somebody has to take charge. Maybe as a couple, you're not moving on from something painful that happened. Maybe because somebody has to speak their truth, the Page of Swords. Somebody's not being completely honest. Maybe it's you. Maybe, maybe not speaking about what's going on is keeping everything on hold with the Two of Wands. This is not a card of action. This is a message of delays. Delays as far as this movement in your love life. Now, when I said that, I feel like for some of you, if you don't want to keep waiting, whatever it is you're waiting for, whether it's a new person or you're waiting for your marriage to be healed or relationship, somebody has to take control here. And maybe this happens by speaking your truth. Okay, let's get a few more, see what the rest of the message is. What other messages are there for the sign of Pisces for June? You have the Knight of Swords. What other messages are there for the sign of Pisces for June? The King of Pentacles. What other messages are there for the sign of Pisces for June? And the Three of Cups. So the King of Pentacles was a jumping card, and it jumped from the confirmation deck. And I told you it was a really dramatic card that jumped, flew across the room, and here it is again from this deck. This is an earth sign: Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. There is change around this person. You have the Knight of Swords. So if your partner or your ex is an earth sign, this is telling you that things can change very quickly with them. The Knight of Swords represents, very unexpected developments. All the Knights represent change and movement, and you have two so far. So there is a lot of movement around your love life. And again, with the Knight of Swords, this is something unexpected, something that happens completely out of the blue, involving this earth sign. It could be an ex, or it can even be somebody new. Either way, there is happiness here. This is a celebration. Perhaps you're celebrating that this earth sign is coming back into your life. Again, maybe you weren't expecting this, especially with something like this as the main energy, the Two of Wands. You've been waiting. Maybe you've been waiting for a long time for this person to be ready to come back to you, or for this person maybe to want to fix your marriage or your relationship. It could be, an earth sign, because that is the energy of this card, but it can also just be the energy that they're in. So this could be someone who's very down to earth, maybe someone who's very grounded, someone who's very kind of interested in material things. That is the energy of the earth signs. Let's see what comes up from the confirmation deck. Let's see if we get any more clarity on this. What other messages are there for the sign of Pisces for June? You have the Knight of Pentacles, so another Knight. I think you have them all now. What other messages are there for the sign of Pisces for June? The Ten of Pentacles. What other messages are there for the sign of Pisces for June? And the Page of Pentacles. So that's interesting. The Page of Pentacles is going over the other Page of Pentacles. So this is a repeat card right here. What's the most important thing that Pisces needs to hear about their love life for June 2019? Wow. So the Page of Swords again. So that card is right here. So you actually have 4 pages here. So, I mean, the pages to me, they do represent communication. So it could be that maybe you'll be hearing the truth from somebody. Maybe you'll be hearing what's, really, why somebody really left, or why somebody's really, struggling in a marriage. This is somebody being completely open and honest with you. It could also be urging you to do that if you're the one holding back. This is a repeat card. Strong energy. Same card, different deck. There's a need to be completely honest. Now, let's look at this right here. So now you have 3 knights. Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, Knight of Swords. The only one you're missing is the Knight of Wands. They're all here. This is a lot of movement. Again, the knights represent change and movement, and you have 3 of them. Also, the wheel is movement. So there's a lot of things that can change in your love life. Very unexpectedly, positive movement, maybe even a new relationship. But this night also means that things could take their time. This is slow progress, which ties in with the main energy, delays. I feel like it's up to you as far as what you're doing, because you do have the Emperor down here. You have to take control as far as your love life. You have to be in control. And it could be that maybe you need to do that by speaking your truth. The Page of Swords is a repeat card. I see a relationship here or a marriage. This is a very stable energy, which means that your relationship can be stable again, or maybe your marriage can be saved. You can have that sense of stability and abundance. This is a very kind of blessed energy for a relationship. But this came with the Page of Pentacles, which is also here. So double message for you as well. This is telling you need to look at things very carefully as far as this relationship that you really want, where things could move very slowly. I feel like that depends on you, because you also have the Knight of Swords, which is the opposite of that one. So things can move very slowly, or they can change very quickly depending on what you're doing. Maybe if you're speaking your truth, or maybe if you're actually taking charge of what's going on in your love life. The Page of Pentacles is saying look carefully here. For some of you, it can be that maybe, not for everyone, but I mean, we can't ignore that this card is here. The Ten of Swords usually means that it's time to move on, but you don't want to. You feel like you don't want to move on. You don't realize it's time to move on. It could be for some of you that maybe you realize in the month of June that, I want a new cycle in my love life. I deserve somebody new. We are going to do a single spread if you're curious. But it can also be that maybe if you look at a relationship very carefully, maybe you'll be able to figure out what's been working against you, because there is healing here with Temperance. It's also a message to be patient. So for many of you, it's just a matter of, again, it's a matter of waiting, maybe for someone to speak their truth. Okay, let's go ahead and do the X spread using this deck right here. I've already shuffled it, so let me just get these out of the way. And as always with the X spread, this can be someone maybe that you had a long-term committed relationship with, but it could even be somebody that you just dated a few times, somebody you're getting to know, and you just want to know if there's a chance you will hear from them again. Let's see what comes up for you. Show me the energies around Pisces and their ex for June. 7 of Swords. Pisces and their ex for June. 3 of Pentacles. Pisces and their ex for June. 4 of Wands. Pisces and their ex for the month of June. The Chariot. Pisces and their ex for the month of June. The Knight of Swords. So this is a repeat card. Pisces and their ex for the month of June. And the 6 of Swords. Okay. It's interesting that you start with the 7 of Swords and you end with the 6 of Swords. Let's see what this means for you. So the 7 of Swords can be that maybe, there's something that you don't want to see, which maybe that's why the Page of Swords was a repeat card. There's a need to be completely open and honest. It could be that if you're ignoring something about your ex, that you're only hurting yourself, because the 7 of Swords does represent being your own worst enemy. I mean, it can definitely be, if it's not you, if you feel like you've been completely honest with your ex and you were not the issue, it could be that maybe, they have not been completely honest with you. This can definitely be an energy of someone who is in denial. This can be self-deceit. Maybe your ex doesn't want to acknowledge that they made a mistake. Maybe they don't want to acknowledge, maybe they do want to get back together. Because I do see stability there. You have the 4 of Wands. Remember that you did have the 10 of Pentacles from the first spread that I did for you. I think it was from the confirmation deck. And that is the same, it's the same energy. Here it is. This represents stability. And here you have the 4 of Wands. So there can still be a happy relationship, a stable relationship with your ex. The Four of Wands is a relationship with a firm foundation. This is something that is strong. But there's a need to really work on this with the Three of Pentacles. This means that you both have to give it your all. And you have to work together. But somebody here is not participating with the Seven of Swords. This is somebody who's looking away. This is someone who has the blinders on. Someone who's really just being their own worst enemy. Maybe, possibly by being in denial. But still, I mean, there's a lot of movement here. Actually, all three of them represent movement. And you did have all those knights in the first spread. The Knight of Swords was actually one of them. There is a whole lot of movement. The Chariot represents movement, Major Arcana. The Knight of Swords represent movement. And the Six of Swords represents movement. So there's something shifting around you and your ex. This does represent victory. This means that you have to stay in the driver's seat. Which, you know, you did have the Emperor in the first spread. You have to stay in control. The Chariot means that you can succeed as far as getting your ex back. And then you have the Knight of Swords, which means that things could change very quickly for you. It could be right now you're apart and maybe you don't really know where you stand. Maybe you haven't talked to them. But the Knight of Swords does mean that things could change very unexpectedly. It's just like the Tower. But I mean, you also have the Six of Swords, which this is what you want to see in an ex spread, because it means that not only can there be change, but this is, you know, movement in a much healthier direction, which means that, you know, you want to get away from this. So if you and your ex had a lot of issues, maybe there was a lot of problems, the Six of Swords is saying you can have a much healthier relationship this time around. But there is something there with the Seven of Swords. It's like, perhaps, you know, there's something they don't want to admit, or they're lying to themselves. Maybe they feel that they're better off without you. Maybe they're not being completely honest. Sometimes, again, it does represent deceit. But, you know, it also just means that you're being your own worst enemy. You're only hurting yourself by looking away. There's a need to really work on your relationship with your ex in order to have the Four of Wands, which would be stability or even a long-term relationship. But like I said, all of these cards represent movement, with especially this one because it is a Major Arcana. There can be significant change in your relationship with your ex if you hang in there. That's the key word. You have to stay persistent and determined and positive. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the single spread using this deck right here. I've already shuffled it, and if, you know, maybe you don't know if you're going to get your ex back, and maybe you're just curious as far as will there be somebody new in the month of June, you can definitely watch for that if you're not yet completely single, but you're curious. Okay, will the sign of Pisces meet a new partner in the month of June? Four of Cups. Will the sign of Pisces meet a new partner in the month of June? Death. Will the sign of Pisces meet a new partner in the month of June? Wow, the King of Pentacles again. Because I know that I think this is the second or third time we've seen this card. Will the sign of Pisces meet a new partner in the month of June? Nine of Wands. Will the sign of Pisces meet a new partner in the month of June? Six of Wands. Will Pisces meet a new partner in the month of June? Three of Swords. So there's, you know, I see here that the sign of Pisces is still, you're still unhappy about something. So for some of you, it could be that maybe you're still brokenhearted about a relationship that didn't work out, because the Three of Swords does represent a breakup or a divorce, or your heart just being broken, and maybe you're, you know, some of you are not ready yet, because I do see you holding back right here. You have the Nine of Wands, which means that you're kind of keeping to yourself. I mean, there can be somebody new. I see an earth sign here, which this would be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Male or female sun, moon, or rising. And I know this was one of the jumping cards from the first spread. I think it jumped when I was properly shuffling. It came up in the first spread, and here it is again. So for some of you, there is a big change, you know, a big opportunity there with the Death card. A big opportunity to be happy again with an earth sign. Because death it's not just a new beginning, it's a huge transformation, but it does require some type of ending. And I feel like the ending is this, and this. So if you want to find a new partner in the month of June, I mean, somebody is there. There is an earth sign. And with death being right next to it, this person would play a huge part in your life. Because death, this is like, you know, an energy of your life changing forever. It could be that this is the person you marry, this is the person you spend the rest of your life with, maybe this is a person you're going to have children with. The Death card, this is something significant that it just changes everything. But I see you being unhappy. It's like maybe you're not ready to accept this person into your life. With the Four of Cups, you're not noticing this person is right in front of you. Maybe some of you know who it is, but others you may not. It could just be that maybe you're closed off as far as new relationships. Maybe you're not even aware of that. Maybe that's why you had the Page of Swords as a repeat card. You need to be completely honest with yourself. You're ready to meet somebody new, but are you really ready? Are you putting yourself out there? Are you ready to accept somebody new? Because this usually means that you're fear-based and you're paranoid and you don't want to be hurt. And you know, as it is, again, Four of Cups and Three of Swords, I see you being hurt. But you also have the Six of Wands, which means that, you know, if you meet somebody new in the month of June, you're not wasting your time. The Six of Wands is victory. This means that you can get past any obstacles that have been blocking you. So the obstacles would be meeting the wrong people, your ex, or kind of issues like that. This is guaranteeing success, victory. Again, with an earth sign. But also the Death card can represent the sign of Scorpio. So for some of you, maybe that is the message. A Scorpio can be significant to you. But there's opportunities here for the sign of Pisces. But I see you being unhappy or still really brokenhearted about somebody. Let me look into this King of Pentacles to see what kind of messages we see around them. What does the King of Pentacles represent for the sign of Pisces? What kind of energy do they bring into Pisces' life? This could be a choice for you. I mean, the Two of Pentacles, it could be that maybe you have to choose between an earth sign and maybe someone else. But it can also be for some of you that there is an earth sign that you meet and you're very undecided as far as, you know, committing to this person or letting them into your life. With the Two of Pentacles, you keep going back and forth, back and forth. You're undecided, but for others, it could be that, you know, there's a choice. There could be somebody else. What other messages are there for Pisces about this earth sign? Stress. Yeah, for some reason, I see you stressing as far as, you know, do I want to get involved with this person? With the Nine of Swords, you're imagining the worst. Maybe because you've been hurt here and here. Now you think that everyone's going to do that. With the Nine of Swords, you're always imagining the worst. And keep in mind that this is worry without merit. So what you're stressing about, worrying about, is not really going to happen. Your mind is playing tricks on you. And again, as it is, you're highly emotional, you're brokenhearted. Keep in mind that there is an earth sign here that can change everything with the Death card coming up. Now let's see. For those of you where maybe there is a Scorpio, because Death can also represent the sign of Scorpio. Let me look into this. For those Pisces who meet a Scorpio, what does this person bring into their life? The Four of Pentacles. Now the Four of Pentacles, this can be somebody who maybe wants to take things slow. This is someone who's perhaps, you know, afraid of change. I don't know. Based on the cards that I see right here, that can still represent you. This can represent you maybe wanting to hold on to the way things are. Maybe you're still holding on to someone from the past. Yeah, this is someone who maybe is closed off from change. Let me get another one. What would the sign of Scorpio bring into Pisces' life? What does this person represent? Well, okay, here's another one. I mean, the Strength card, it does represent needing to be patient. So again, maybe this person maybe is not open. Maybe they want to take things slow because this represents patience. And the Strength card means that you can't get angry, you can't get frustrated. You have to just, you know, kind of watch your ego. Don't let your ego get the best of you, because I see you on edge here with the Nine of Wands. You're afraid, you're paranoid, maybe you're afraid that you're going to be hurt again. I definitely see that if you're meeting an earth sign. Maybe you're not seeing, you know, a relationship that's right in front of you. Maybe you're not seeing what somebody's offering to you. I see, no matter who you're meeting, you know, whether it is a Scorpio or an earth sign, I see you kind of being undecided. That's why I said for many of you, it's probably you. Whether it's the earth sign or the Scorpio, I see you kind of resisting here. Because with the earth sign, I see you going back and forth, like choosing. And then here, you're wanting to kind of keep things the same. You're not open to change. And, you know, you're having to watch your ego here. Don't let fear run the show, because there is somebody here for you in the month of June. Time for you to get over this pain, this heartache. Okay, Pisces, this has been your love reading for June 2019. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you again next month.